What's going on, YouTube? You know what time it is. Welcome back to the channel. You clicked on this video. Obviously, you're here for a reason. But I'm not here alone. I got some other 2XKO players, other content creators I'm here with. And we're going to talk about 2XKO. We're going to have a little discussion about the game. You know, Alpha Lab's been here for the last, 3-4 days now. It's been out since like Thursday, Sunday. And, you know, there's some things we're all concerned about. We've all just decided, you know, it'd be a good time for us to just come together and kind of talk about it. Easy for me to just sit here and make a video and talk about it. First and foremost, let me introduce everyone here. First, we got Trap Lord Huey, the boy right there. We got the infallible Edo San. I'm kidding, he's not infallible, but that's the homie right there. And we got Avatar Yaya. You know him, you love him. He's here, live in the building. And I got my man's brother from another mother, Soulless Soul. We just call him Soul for short. That's your boy there. You know what it is. So we're gonna kickstart this. We got a lot to talk about. First and foremost, we're gonna open up with the hardest hitting question of them all. Is 2XKO good for casuals? Discuss.
I can go first.
Open it up. Open it up.
Go ahead.
Let's talk.
So I think in the state of Alpha Lab, no. I think Alpha Lab is I tweeted about it the other day. I think Alpha Lab is like 1/3 of the pie, where it's like it's really just designed for them to get feedback and less about them presenting the game to casuals. So at this very moment, like there's no skill-based matchmaking. The tutorial in the game is damn near non-existent. But the layout of the game, like the simplicity of it, I think it's pretty okay. I think because I know we're going to get into it in a which I can just kind of start it off with the control scheme thing about I think a lot of players that have never experienced a fighting game probably don't deem the control scheme too bad, but I think if you have any form of like recollection or like any experience of playing a fighting game before, it feels a bit confusing to have like special buttons on, especially on two separate buttons, because I think the only other game I know that's like kind of close to that, it's two. It's Grand Blue and DNF, where they have a special. They both have like special input buttons that you can use, but they're all just on one button instead of separating to two. But outside of that, there's really nothing else that like at least like introduces the game to casuals to like feel like that they can digest and understand the game. Right now, it's just kind of feeding you to the wolves because. Everybody get either hit up. I've been saying all week. You either get beat up by a Cloud 805er, or you're fighting somebody in the middle, or you're fighting somebody that's like doesn't know what they're playing at all. It's like for me when I've been playing, I kind of stopped playing in lobbies. Like I think it was like Saturday night, either Friday or Saturday night, because I just kept running into people that just didn't know, they just don't block. So it was like I could just get the easy bake oven combos I've been doing, but I was like, I know I'm still butt at the game.
Yeah. I think I'll jump in here. So like the game itself on the surface, I'm gonna just come out and say it. I feel like Riot kind of failed at the mission statement. Like they didn't do the homework, because like when you have two special buttons, right? Like we was talking about it on Twitter, and I was thinking like when Soul said like, because we were talking about like making it simplistic for people and like adding like directional buttons, and that can work a little bit, but I just got Smash Bros PTSD, right? And I'll explain this right now. So Terry's in Smash, right? And while a lot of people can't play Terry, the fighting game characters in the game, is because you have two moves on one button, and this is where the results of like it could get frustrating depending on how good you are with inputting stuff or not mashing. So in Smash Brothers, for example, you hit down and B, and down B is power dunk. Power dunk. And then if you hit forward, right, it's burning knuckle. If you do it too fast, which happens in this game game in the alpha, right? You either A, it feels like SOCD or something, or like you can't, the input just doesn't come out, or you get a complete different input, right? And I think having two special buttons.
I've been getting cooked up trying to do it down to go into Yasuo's stance, and then it buffers the input, and I get super, and I'm like, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah,
that's not what I wanted.
And I feel like too, I don't know what they could do about the two special buttons, because I like that we got two special buttons, because it does make it more than just having. They could have just took the lazy route, like some other fighting games, and been like, all right, y'all got 3 specials, deal with it, right? But then they make another special button and then incorporate the motion inputs to it, right? Then that's just gonna make things more complicated as well for a lot of people. So it's like, I don't want to be the guy here, but in Blaze Blue, right, a lot of the moves come from the drive button, and the moves that come from the drive button are literally generally could be used from it's motion inputs or something like that, or some type of unique character actions, right? And they're built off of the drive button. However, this game decided to say, let's take that concept and put 2 of them. So I don't know. It can be very weird overall for like playing the game.
This game each character has 4 specials or 6.
I think each character has up to 6. There's down, there's neutral, and there's forward. Most likely.
Each button. For each button. So neutral, forward, back, down.
Yeah.
And then there's aerial, which also could have a down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's a lot.
At that point, I think Ari has the most moves in the entire
The
game.
most. Yeah, she has the most.
I don't think it's been a minute for like a fighting game for a character to always have 8 to 10 special moves.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like before Injustice 1. Like that's what it's in my head. That's what it sounds like.
For a character to have that deep of a.
It's probably been like outside of Marvel. We are in 2024. Yeah, that was just like that's pre Street Fighter 5. Like in my head, like I'm trying to think like, dang, they really like.
I think it's I'm gonna let you go in a minute on my phone. It's like a gift and a curse. I think it's like I like that the characters feel like that in depth, like they have so many options that they can do. But yeah, when it just comes down to the comfortability of it, at least for me playing on the hitbox, it's not that bad. Like I've gotten pretty used to it now over these last few days. But I know like it's not that comfortable, or at least it doesn't seem comfortable for a lot of pad players.
Oh,
and
yeah.
to me, that's befuddling to me, because I'm like, I would have thought that maybe pad would have been the primary place they would have designed comfortability around, and then hitboxes and sticks. But it seems like it's reversed for this game. The hitbox and stick feels a bit more comfortable in comparison to controller.
I think my take on it right now is, at least for me, obviously, I don't think the game is hard. I think Riot's mindset coming into the Alpha Lab was what Soul said, just get in there, get a good gist of the game, understanding of the game, the mechanics, and just hit buttons. Obviously in the tutorial it tells you, your auto combos, your specials, this is what you're supposed to do. But the one thing I didn't like about the tutorial, and obviously it's not finished yet and it came out and he said this, but one thing I didn't like about the tutorial was you're stuck to the auto combo FUZE. It doesn't tell you straight up that you can also do light, medium, heavy. It just tells you mash light. So I think for newcomers to the game, it's like, well, this is all I can do, And also before starting up the Alpha Lab, they give you, are you a newbie or a intermediate or a pro player? Obviously, I picked the pro player part of it, is like, because we've been playing fighting games for most of our lives, we know what to do and stuff like that. But in the beta or / alpha, you're stuck to a lobby system that doesn't have any skill matchmaking. So it's like, as Soul says, so it's like, what's the point of you giving us that feature,
Yeah, and just to chime in on that, I absolutely, y'all, if y'all know me, I'm the modern accessibility guy in Street Fighter, whatever. I absolutely think Post is like why we had this problem with people hating on simple controls. Post controls, to me, feel like how like Blaze Blue or like old Persona was. Like you obviously know when the combo stops. The animations, which we'll talk about later in more depth, you can literally tell like, oh, that's the end of that. My turn, light or medium. Like it's just that simple. And then playing with other friends, y'all know me. I'm a very big person on getting people into fighting games. However, since we're both locked to fuses, right? I'm forced to play the way that the new players want to play, which they like. I just want to mash buttons, so they pick post. And then like the controls, like some of the like the specials and stuff change. They flip, whatever button it is. It's like it changes the control scheme, and it's very awkward to play a little bit, right? And I just generally don't like the idea of like when you play with somebody in a game for the first time, especially if you want to get somebody into it. Let's say Soul gets somebody into the game. He obviously understands the game a little bit more than the person he's getting into the game, right? Now, Soul has to reduce his playstyle and the way he plays the game because he's locked behind post fuse. And what that does is like, all right, you get either frustrated or annoyed, or the other player's like, dang, he losing on the auto combo stuff. This game trash. And then they get demoralized. And the only reason why they ain't quitting yet because they got another teammate that asks them to play the game. So I just don't. I think post needs to be reworked, not as a post. I think they need to just go ahead and just make a control scheme before you pick your characters, like modern or the classic controls, and give the option for that. Because then we lose a whole fuse as well. We put it on disadvantage times 2.
Yeah, because at first I was totally with like, you know, them creating something like this, you know, obviously to get newcomers to the game and feel comfortable with it. But the more you mess around with it, and since we have a training mode to mess around with the other fuses of the game, the more I realize like this doesn't really do anything and help newcomers learn about the game even more. I feel like so.
Well, before I go, Hugh, you got an input?
All right. Okay.
You know he got input.
Let me start off by saying this. I think versus games, they're all complicated games. I don't think any versus game is for casuals. Like you could kind of get that sense like, okay, they're simplifying some of the inputs to kind of like cater to newer people, but I don't think that's the case. For example, when you go from Marvel 1 to Marvel 2, Marvel 1 is a 6-button fighter with light, medium, heavies. And then when you go to Marvel 2, that's 4 buttons. Like they combine the light and mediums into 1 button. And then I think when you go to Marvel 3, that's light, medium, heavy. So it's not like they're kind of simplifying it for the casual. They're simplifying it because the games themselves are pretty complex in nature, just due to how fast paced and like how many different actions you have to take at any given time. And then when you go into 2XKO, it's kind of like they did the reverse of that in some ways by simplifying even more of the control scheme and separating it into buttons that you have to press. That just complicates it even more. It just turned it back into a 6-button fighter essentially.
Yeah.
So I think it just makes it like too much stuff to keep track of in terms of like button inputs.
Yeah, I think the 6-button method was like actually kind of it was surprising, but it's like I can kind of understand what made them like come to the conclusion of like because like they're trying to handle the game in a way where it's kind of a dangerous way of thinking. But I'm pretty sure I feel like there truly can be a medium of they're making a fighting game for the FGC, but they're also trying to make it accessible for beginners. And it's like there's a certain point where like you realize that you can only go but so far with simplifying fighting games to the point where they just feel neutered and unfun. And I think Like for example, the recent fighting games. I think as far as like with DNF, Grand Blue, and then Modern for Street Fighter 6, I think those games like really on the line of like if you go any simpler than this, I don't know if this is going to be truly a fighting game that people would stick around and like for a long time. And KO is like right there sitting with them. But it's the fact that it is a team game and it has like a lot of extra layers and stuff to it that saves it from going any lower than that. Now, when it comes to when we're talking about the post FUZE, honestly, I think it's very unnecessary. I think the game is simple enough that players can pick up and understand how to formulate a combo by just hitting a sequence of buttons, light, medium, heavy, special. That's a literal combo in the game.
And even if you want to include some kind of like auto combos, it doesn't need to be its own dedicated like system in the game. You can just keep it tied to the light button and just do a light, medium, heavy, special as like a kind of like its own auto combo kind of thing.
Yeah, because it being a whole post, it was like at the start, I was like, you know what? When they introduced it, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because I think when the game was first coming out, people was asking, well, will it have auto combos or any of that sort? Since a lot of fighting games, they've been introducing that to get new players into the game. Like, yeah, I mean, if they add auto combos in, it'll be cool. But to introduce it as a FUZE, it's
too much.
I feel like that they don't. It's understandable since it's a small group of them. In comparison to like getting feedback from like a large majority number of people outside of like them and then some of the pro players that've been playing it for over a course of a year or two now. Having a large number of sample size of people to experience it, I think you people start to realize that it post takes away more than what it actually gives a new player, because there's so many other facets about the game that you realize that, oh, well, if I pick post, I don't have access to this, or it feels limiting in comparison. So it kind of makes it like Yaya and Edo was saying earlier. It just feels like that it should just be like a setting in the control scheme instead of its
own. And I think
post.
to that point, what I will say is that from the way that they explained the post FUZE, I don't think it was intended to be as its own, like, kind of like system mechanic for people to choose. I think it was more to be as like kind of like a stopgap for people to, when like they start off using post FUZE and then they move on to doing something else, but not exclusively used as its own method, like something like modern controls.
Yeah.
So I think if they just like add it in as a mode, I think that would be better than locking off the other mechanics.
Yeah, because the thing is, I feel like Riot even came out and said like the post is supposed to help not only newcomers, but even if you're an experienced fighting game player, right, and you're wanting to learn a new character or a new team, but you don't really have the idea or the creative idea of what to do with that team. The FUZE is supposed to give you an idea or a blueprint of that, and to me, it doesn't do that very well. It gives you an idea, like a little small blueprint of a character with an auto combo, but like it doesn't give you like the rest of like, okay, I can do this in neutral here or do this in here. Like
it's like, which is what an auto combo essentially should be, right? But it shouldn't. It doesn't have to be its own, like it doesn't have to be its own thing.
Yeah. I don't think that should be the FUZE.
Personally, this game ain't easy at all. Is it for casuals? For the initial question, I think both yes and no. And I won't take too long explaining this, but I feel like it's a complicated technical game under the guise of modern controls. Like a simple control scheme. Like the guise is a simple control scheme to try to get you involved, and you play the game and you're like, whoa, what's all this? This is I didn't sign up for all this. Like, what's this FUZE stuff? What's all this? What is this? A push block, advancing guard, retreating guard, parry? What is all this? And I think that's where dare I say, like 2XKO as a video game is clickbait in itself. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. I do think that like where they are right now, which you guys talked a lot about, a lot of the same things I would have said. So I kind of want to dip into something else here, not on our docket, but we'll add to this here is that you know, to the effect of the simplicity, yeah, I agree. Post FUZE, I just gotta go. I'd much rather just have a modern control scheme because I do think it's punishing for like, as Yaya said, like if you've been playing like me, I've been playing like on double down this entire time. You know, you're punishing me for having to use FUZE and not take advantage of other system mechanics. I think that's kind of bad. I think you should just literally just do a modern controls, which it's crazy because I'm with Soul. Like, how much more modern controls can you go with this game at this point? Like, you took out motion inputs, right? You added a whole FUZE that gives you auto combos when you could just, in my opinion, I don't know why they didn't take the Dragon Ball route and just have auto combos attached already to the game. Like, you didn't need you need to add the FUZE to make it anything. Just because you lose out on so much, right? In my opinion,
just have it on the button.
Yeah, just have it on
because
the
button. it's funny because like whenever I think of like getting into a character's routes in the game, like I automatically go to the reference of like Dragon Ball. I'm like, oh, I just do this and this. Oh, I can just do 2H, or I can do crouching medium. It's like it's I feel like the game could work exactly the same way with the auto combo system tied to it. So it is kind of just funny that it feels like that the game was made with auto combos first, then then they retreated it, removed it, and it's like, maybe we should put it back in.
Yeah, I could see that too. Which, in speaking on the system, that's where I want to go to next is the system. I'm just gonna be on, we're not gonna talk about FUZE just yet. I just want to talk about the actual game system. Because the FUZE is a whole other conversation, you guys. So for you guys watching, we have a lot to say there.
Much.
But I want to go about the system. I think 2XKO's overarching system, after getting more playtime with it, I think it's a bit much. I want to definitely outright talk about not the auto combo system, you guys. It's kind of simple, light, medium, heavy, blase, whoop-de-whoop, specials. Okay, cool. I think the problem I have here is the systems in place require, then it comes back to the button scheme, right? Like you have a parry, you have a push block, you have retreating guard, you have the get up attack, right?
Which is basically a second burst, if you think about it.
Then there's also burst, right? I think part of my issue with the game system is that, for starters, I think meter gain is too slow.
Yeah.
For getting access to things that's supposed to help you play defense, because one of the biggest things in the recent fighting games is everyone complains about defense is bad. There's no defense. 2SKO is like, all right, we're just gonna put every defensive mechanic that was ever featured in a single fighting game in this game, so no one can ever complain about defensive mechanics. And
let me quickly add something onto what you just said, because like when you start off the match, you can't push block or parry. So that's two defensive mechanics that you can't use like right at the start of the game.
Yeah, because those cost a whole super gauge. That's which is 1 gauge.
Yeah,
1 bar. Yeah.
So when you get into that, so think of it this way, you guys, as we're talking about it, you start the game off in a deficit with no defensive mechanics on either side, like no major defensive mechanics. Push block is like the most important defensive mechanic in any tag fighter. Because what that push block is exactly what it is. Hey, I'm blocking. I need you guys to back up. You're too close to me, right? And it helps deal with the oppressive offense of tag fighters. But in this game, when you start getting into, just what I say, because it gets tricky when we talk about the FUZE system, but we're going to talk about it later on. But like, just for the sake of this topic here, when you get into things like 2x assist FUZE, you're going to be sitting there blocking for a minute. Right, so at that point, that does open up more room for you to get mixed up. But I get it. Hey, we have retreating guard. It gives you it's a no meter backdash. That one costs you no meter. The problem with that is it's retreating. You're making space, but you're going backwards.
Yep. You're putting yourself in the corner.
Yeah, and you can do it multiple times. It leaves your feet vulnerable, but it's also retreat. It's exactly what it's retreating. So at that stage in the game, for no meter, you're telling me I have to keep backing up and giving up space while this person can hit assist. Think of it this way: you use a retreating guard on a block string. This guy has 2 times assist, and then the point character runs in, does another string, and you start retreating guard again, and then he drops the assist a second time.
And all of a sudden you're in the corner.
And you're in the corner. He just runs at you again, and it's like, well, I did retreating guard twice. Not to mention the one on offense gets more meter, which is normal in fighting games. If you're on the defensive end, your meter gain when blocking isn't going to be as high as the guy doing the offense. Okay, fine, fair enough. But for push block to cost a full meter in a situation where you may need to save yourself, and let's say you have half a meter, there's nothing to be done with half a meter. Nothing. You have to wait for a whole bar. At that stage in the game, I feel like splitting the meter up to having push block be available at half meter makes more sense. Not to mention, which no one's talked about this at all, this is the first versus game I have ever played where there's no aerial push block.
Yes.
Oh, you can't?
No.
No.
That's a good point. I definitely remember it in the game that we played in tournament earlier today. I tried to aerial push block and it didn't work.
Nope, doesn't work.
Okay.
And I think that's
I
honestly
did not
bad.
know that.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
And if I can remember correctly, there's no aerial push block, and you can't air parry.
you can't air parry. So I'm okay with no air parry.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
there's no air parry.
So
The only thing you have is air throw.
at this point in the game, which I will say air throws are bomb in this game. I love the air throws system in this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Yeah,
I
those are
think
great.
I think what they should do, in all honesty, I'm not a fan of parry. Not because I don't like the parry mechanic as a whole in any fighting game. I play Street Fighter 6. Parry's fine. But I think my issue with this is I'd rather have some type of just guard than a parry. Because I feel like you're making the player, in case you guys didn't know who are watching this, to do push block in this game is to guard and be in full guard stun and press forward and light medium or your dash button. The problem with that is you have to press forward. Like, I would much rather just remove retreating guard and just leave push block. Retreating guard to me is literally the same thing as a push block, but I'm going backwards. I don't want to give up space. The idea is to for you guys watching this, I want you guys to understand this. This is a very important aspect of tag fighters. This concept means the world in these games, and it's called neutral return. When you push block, you don't give up space, you create space. Retreating guard makes it so you have to give up space on the off chance you might punish them, while still having a metered option to do the exact same thing but throw them towards the middle of the screen. I'm not sure how and why, and I just think retreating guard is poop. I would rather take that out. I don't think it's that great. I don't like the idea of giving up space. I understand maybe, I think at some point, some people were saying
V-shift?
that's just trash.
Yeah, I was about to say, it works good for like a more grounded 2D game, but it doesn't work great for
It doesn't work
fighters.
for it doesn't work for versus tag fighter.
It
For
doesn't.
versus fighters, the absolute worst place you want to be is in the
In
corner.
the corner.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, the opponent should be rewarded for doing a combo to, like, you know, if like they do like a full screen combo to like drag you up to the corner, but you shouldn't play a part in helping them do that. You shouldn't be helping them get you into the corner.
Bro, let me tell you. No. Let me tell you what happened. Right. So this was in TNS, and if we could get the clip, we could get it. And there was one moment where like the Darius was holding the assist, running down Edo, and the Ari's just like on pressure. So Edo hits retreating guard, and the Darius is still running, holding the damn assist. And now we in the mix, and they had handshake tag, right? So I'm like, oh man, they get to play BB tag now with like cross combo while we just gotta hold this, right? I was like, oh no.
It's crazy. It's crazy because like there was a lot of moments where I fought players that was getting handshake tag down very well, and like they'll tag on the other side, and like if I'm in a mix situation, I'm like, oh okay, I'm gonna block this. I'm gonna block this mix. I block the mix, and they tag the other way. I'm a push block. Either they delay a button and you know it's 4+2 buttons to push block. They call it out, and I see my character move up a little bit, so they call my little micro movement, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. But I get it. I get why they made it that way. I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with it.
I think it's a tough thing to do because I understand why they're doing it, because it's in the mind of like parrying and third strike, where like if you want it to be effective, you have to have the risk of not blocking because it's supposed to be a very rewarding situation. The thing with that is that we have two mechanics that essentially do a similar thing of like parrying. If you miss time parry, you get cooked. If you and if they bait your push block, you get cooked. It's like in concept that's fine, but I think you should have one or the other. I don't think that you should have to have both. And I think I think it was a good idea of them, or at least trying to see of like a fighting game to come back and have like a lot of defensive mechanics to see how to operate. I think, but now after playing the Alpha Lab, which everybody, even though we're saying negative things, we don't dislike the game.
We love the game.
We love the game.
It's just because you love it doesn't mean it doesn't have any issues, and that's the overall thing. It's an alpha, so like a lot of the issues that, at least for some of us, that we feel is that it's great to have defensive mechanics, but I think there's a tug and pull of when there's a good amount and when there's too many. And I think KO is sitting on that verge of there being too many, to the point that maybe we should, in the future, try a build that removes maybe one of the mechanics or maybe two of them, just to see how the game overall plays and shifts. Because even for people that as you progressively play the game, and if you're a fighting game player as at heart, having or at the core, like you've been playing for years, it's still like a lot of mechanics, because there's a lot of things that you have to focus on, because it's a tag game. I have to worry about the point carry, then I have to worry about the assist, and I have to worry about the BB tag situation of being sandwiched and mixed. Then I have to pick and choose what defensive options I want to use to react to those.
I want to talk about the fuses so bad, bro. Like,
hold on, we're gonna get there.
Let's say this real quick, because I know we're talking about the mechanics. Like, for example, we also touched upon, we haven't really went fully in depth with like the burst yet, but I want to talk about that a little bit, right? I feel like the meter game for burst needs to be toned down. I'll be honest.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. You know why? I'm going to step in for a second.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Excuse me for a moment. I'm going to fix myself for this on purpose. So, Guilty Gear hat on for a moment. Arxis hat on for a second. This game's burst is the equivalent to Strive. Mm-hmm. And I've got to be honest, I despised the burst system in that game day one. Because the way you got burst back so quickly, early burst meta really hurt characters like Chip and Milia in the beginning of the game. It's still a thing now. Not as egregious, thankfully, but this game, it just feels like when you do your combos, you're like, it's almost like they want all the defensive, like the only real defensive mechanic you're gonna always have access to for the most part is burst. I mean, get up attack too, right? But like the burst in this game is just like, they made it to be this like, okay, newbies really need to get away from this. I gotta be real. Burst baiting in this game is the biggest chore. I think it's cool.
It's no indicator.
No.
Hard to bait.
It's not that. When I block the burst, I don't need my opponent to fly across the screen.
Yes,
sit still.
That too.
I baited it. I need you to get punished. I don't need to. When I block it, you go across the screen because there's so much screen space.
Yes, that is very.
Whoever. Hey, look, I'm gonna be real with you. Hold on. I have to knock this one out, because this one, this is actually, I don't want to attack anyone in a dev team, because I know you guys are trying hard, but like, I know some of you guys are Guilty Gear players. Whoever thought of that, you got, man.
It's funny.
Revert it. Don't do that anymore. For any other build moving forward with this game, do not do that. That is one of the absolute worst game design things I have seen with a burst mechanic. Like, there is no reason for, if I'm in the corner and I block your burst, my opponent goes across the map. I have to watch you go. Oh, it is a 16:9 screen. I get to watch your. It's like home run.
And
Okay, let me get ready for my combo. I don't want that. I want a full body combo. I want Catherine full body. I need you to just lose. If you're in the air and you fall down, that's fine. If you're on the ground, I want to burst punish you.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
It's like essentially they give you a gift box, but you don't know what's in it. You don't. The punish on the burst is not guaranteed.
Yeah,
The burst itself is more guaranteed than the burst punish. Why?
When you think about it, that's an issue that the game innately has. It's like when you're correct on defense, your reward is finicky. Because when you're correct with parrying in the game, depending on the spacing, you don't get the punish.
you don't get the punish.
So, and when you're correct with bursting, because of the whole wall explosion, the time it's like that's a weird issue that the game has. Where it's like it feels like they're overcompensated of trying to be different in some space in some aspects when they didn't really have to.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not the overall reason on why the team did what they did, but at least from coming. At least coming from like playing a lot of fighting games like that just feels like what it feels is that I understand like a pushback of like I'm getting hit by the burst, like okay, yeah, reset full screen, whatever, that's just a common thing that happens. But for the burst explosion to ricochet the one that did the bursting because I blocked it, it's such a weird feeling.
It's the same thing as the retreating guard. Like, why am I helping the opponent?
Because
why am I helping them get away
my
from
combo?
me?
All right, so let me. It's like, how is it that when you burst so high up on the screen, it's like.
No, it's like no, because Edo did it for once. I don't know what I don't even know how the hell you do that
in that tournament.
Right, in the tournament he did it, and I was like, well, what are we supposed to do? We just gonna let him drop? I'm not gonna. Edo was like, use your assist. I'm like, I'm not gonna use my assist. I don't know where he going.
See the crazy thing. The crazy thing about it, right, is like that was like one of the first things I was trying to lab out in this alpha when we got it, was baiting the burst. And the moment when I was like, okay, if I block it, it's supposed to be a wall bounce, but it's kind of it's jank, like,
and it's like
I can't get it confirmed.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to be honest. I have to be honest. I'm sorry.
You can't throw it.
I know that I'm aware of who's on the development team. So I guess for me, knowing who's kind of there, it's like, I don't even want to call them out by names. I love and respect them. Just for those that don't know that, I love and respect them. They all know that. But I think I understand it, and I just want to be honest, because I am a friend to some of them. I understand you guys are trying to be different, but like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? Like, it's already there. You know, burst baiting exists. A lot of you guys that are on that dev team played Guilty Gear or have played some kind of ArcSys game. So it's like, I don't see what was the purpose of creating this. On top of going back to what Soul said, because I do have to say this. Why is it when you parry something, they get deflected and they go backwards? You parry them, they need to stay right in front of you. They don't need to retreat. You see, it goes back to what we're saying. Like, why are we using the defensive mechanics to help our opponents get away from us? Yeah. That doesn't make sense. That's why I said I think the game needs just defend more than a parry. Because at that point, at least I can, which leads to the next part I want to talk about, which is the movement when dash blocking isn't very good. Like,
it's not.
There's no faultless defense, and when I
got
dash,
clipped so many times just for trying to dash block. I don't need to get clipped just
for trying to dash and block. So add a defensive, just literally adding just defend would be better than parry, because it kind of leads into Echo, but like Echo's Time Winder on the air, no matter what height or whatever, he tosses it on top of your head, he's still -6. That dude needs to be lose your freaking life for tossing a projectile right on top of your head at the top of his jump. That makes no sense.
The only time it should be safe is if he covers it with the assist. And even then, you should be able to punish.
I'm okay if it's safe. It's like Akuma doing a bad air fireball on top of your head and getting rewarded to still drop an assist and be safe. Like, it needs to be more than -6, but the underlying thing I'm trying to get at here is I don't think this comes back to the mechanics. We don't need the burst bait to be thrown across the screen. We don't need parry to deflect them and push them backwards. And it's like, I get it. You get a dash up combo, but like they were in my grill. I parried them for being in my grill, and I was correct. And you throw them across the screen. And it's not even that much of a throw, but like there's not like in Grand Blue, like when you get like when you like dodge the brave attack, it's like the screen zooms in. It's like, hey, you did something good. Now do something about it.
Now punish.
This game is like I parry them, and it's like a subtle, like give more impact to those things. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it's like you parried me. Right on, like no parry. It's like, hey, dude, wow. It's like,
bro, the parry is like, you know, if y'all ever play Kingdom, I'll send him the clip. If you play Kingdom Hearts, I don't know, he be like, gotcha, strike back, and it just reflects, and you just looking at the screen like, wait, that worked, and then now you're like, oh, I gotta hit him now.
Right.
Like, you know.
I want to add this about parry too. I cannot fathom why there needs to be a down parry. A universal.
I forgot that was in the
so
game.
in case you guys didn't know, there's standing parry, which parries mids and highs, and a low parry, which is just for lows. Once again, I just don't get it. Like,
I forgot that
parry in Street Fighter is just one button, and it parries it parries everything.
That's what it goes back to the whole like it's like the simplicity of the control schemes like represents them making the game easier for players to get into, but adding like two options like that to one defensive mechanic kind of turns that statement on its head, where it's like, well, you want this game to be simple, but you're making the defensive options a little more complicated. So they have to like recognize two different things. And then it's like, one of the things I wanted to say was that we have a lot of defensive mechanics, but it still doesn't feel like defense is strong.
It's strong, yeah.
It feels like a lot of the defensive mechanics have issues with them, so it's like you don't get rewarded for being good on defense.
That's all I'm gonna say right now.
Itself,
real quick, the game was designed with offense first in mind. Defense was the second. But you were gonna say, Huey?
Yeah. Well, I have 2 points. First is like the only time a defensive mechanic that you do should reward the opponent is if it fails. If you're successful, it should be whatever happens after that should be a guaranteed kind of like outcome. Like if you block a burst, that should be a guaranteed punish. If you parry something, that should be like depending on like the situation, it should be like a guaranteed follow up. You know, and then all these mechanics being on like different macros and stuff. I feel like I'm doing gang signs on my fight stick, trying to, you know, if you don't map it to a button, like you're kind of like
you're trolling.
Assed out at that point.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's one of the reasons why I use the Halti. The Halti has like 12 buttons on it, so I just kind of like tailor it that way. But I imagine for like controller, if you have like the regular face buttons for control, like light, medium, heavy on like the top buttons and tag, you have to either sacrifice one of like the shoulder buttons to do parry, or like have to take care of like, because you in addition to light, medium, heavy, and tag, you also have to have your special. So there's 2 buttons that you have left to configure macros.
No, I gotta talk about low parry. It feel like it like y'all know, if y'all been following me, I've been complaining about Braum the whole beta, okay? Why would I low parry the man when he ain't doing not a single low move to start a confirm? Why is that an option when this man is battering ramming me full screen, right? So with the parry option, I feel like low parry just there to beat her. Cause like, let's be real, most people ain't not gonna react to no lows in a tag game with an assist coming out. You worried about not getting clipped from that, unless you know that character. Big starter starts from lows, which most of them don't. They start from light, medium, heavy into S1, right? So far, that's a huge thing with the game design to a degree. They can, but you know. People generally are doing. Why would I do low parry?
Yeah, and I think now that you said that, I think parries don't have a place in versus games like that.
I agree.
It's too much of a timing based move.
It's a lot of time.
In a game that requires you to react to stuff like even faster than you would like a normal like DP anti-air or like reacting to like a fireball in Street Fighter 6. That's like when somebody throws a fireball at you, okay, you just parry the fireball and move on. To parry something in 2XKO, it's like 3 different things coming at you at once. They could throw like Echo could throw a fireball, like somebody's coming in with the assist, and you have to figure out at what point, okay, what do I parry?
See, because I like that you said this, because like I said, like I was gonna say, I fought a Darius and a Braum yesterday, and the Darius did neutral special 1, the pull in move. You have to guess between the headbutt, the little red. Basically, he gets an install that does chip. He gets a lot of chip, and then the command grab. So you have to guess between those 3. You can parry the headbutt. I worked on labbing that. As soon as I saw the headbutt come in, the guy delays the Braum assist. I got clipped because I messed up the timing on the headbutt.
Yeah. And then in that situation, you wouldn't even let yourself get hooked. You would have to parry the hook entirely. So, and you're not always guaranteed to
hook. You can't parry it.
No, you can. So people have done it to me. They parry like the hook back, like they
the hook back. Oh yeah. Okay, I thought you were like the forehook. Yeah.
Yeah, but then it's like he's not gonna just do that in a vacuum. He's gonna like throw other stuff behind it too to like kind of like cover and protect it. So it's like you're not really. What am I trying to say? It's like I think for parries are normal for like single hit moves. Like if somebody jumps in with an anti-air in Street Fighter 6, you could parry that and you either get like a grab punish or whatever.
Right.
But I think for versus games, there's too much stuff coming at you, and you can only you can only block in one direction. Like, something coming at you. You can't parry everything.
Yeah. I think
really hard.
I think by that's which. You know, if they listen to us, they do, they don't. But I think by next alpha or beta, wherever they transition into, I think it's fine to remove parry. I think it's fine to remove retreating guard. I think it's good to have push block and then add aerial push block. And then at that point, then we have like get up attack and burst. And I think having 3 defensive options is pretty good, because Marvel has retreating guard, or advancing guard,
advancing guard, regular push block, right?
Alpha counters.
Which
bring in your assist, which I'm so shocked this game does not have that.
Yeah, then Dragon Ball has guard cancel,
reflect,
and I think that's it. And I guess like reverse, like defensive sparking, like sparking on block or whatever.
Yeah.
I think having like 3. I think I said guard cancel earlier. I think having three defensive mechanics is good enough, especially if you make them good.
I think it just needs, like you said, I agree. So advancing guard or push block, get up attack, general blocking, obviously air push block. And I just think a guard cancel, and that's it. Like, because I think you need another way to bring in your teammate. Because, like, you're also dealing with chip damage. So if you block something, you have a way to, like, counter. And they come in and then they could do their thing. Right now, like, it's not really a thing. And I think with the way the game's going, they kind of need to add that.
And I kind of think this may be a hot take too, but I kind of think that get up attack isn't needed. It's kind of like a weird input, and like sometimes if I like mistime like the hold, I'll like just get up and like do nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like I don't think that's.
I just mash specials.
Yeah, I don't think that one's needed like too much, but I think more.
I
I think
understand
more
why
of
they
it should
put
be
it.
on the push block in my opinion.
Yeah, I understand why they put it since there's like there technically isn't like DPs or like revert like like
Mhm.
true like get off me reversals in the game.
Yeah.
So like that's like their way of like doing a universal one.
Yeah.
So I think get up isn't bad per
it's not
se.
I'm
too-
okay
it's
with
not
it
too
because it protects you
egregious.
from the mix. Because I think
Yeah.
the biggest issue is like, for what it's worth, we've seen all the the Sonic Fox mix up. It's like, all right, is anyone using the defensive mechanics? No. Okay.
I could just hold this.
Like,
this
why are we
button.
letting Sonic Fox mix for free? There's a guaranteed wake up reversal option that stops all that cute echo shit. Like, let's just use it.
I'm saying now, do y'all? Because it's meterless, isn't it?
It's meaningless,
Yeah.
it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna bring up. Is like, how do you guys feel about like once you use it,
Ain't that
you
crazy?
get a meter?
No, that's fine. I'll tell you. No,
You're
I'll
okay
tell
with
you.
it?
I'll tell you why it's okay. I think it's okay being free because it can get baited, and the stuff that we were practicing to bait it,
That's true.
it's
true.
pretty bad. So if you, if it's like in BB tag, there's no. Oh man, I have a limit on my DP. That'd be dumb. It's a deep, but
That's true,
and,
that's
and,
true.
and it's only used in one area of the game. You can't use it on block. It's only on wake up. So I'd rather
That's
have
true.
another layer of you need to think about what you're doing as opposed to, all right, bro, echo, time winder, guess asshole, left, right. No,
No.
Yes, asshole.
no.
I get you.
Yeah. Okay.
But let's move on to the next topic because we definitely pounded on that one. We got UI. I think most of us are in agreement that the UI
It needs more work.
It's
No.
it's very simple, very simple. I think
Okay.
I think the general concept of the UI is okay. I think it just needs a bit of added flair.
I
Like one of the
do.
things
it needs color.
Yes.
It's dull.
yeah, because like one of the things I was like,
bruh. Do you know when you have burst?
No.
that's what I was going to say because I think a cool simple thing they could easily do with burst is that once a burst is triggered, it should maybe like ignite a flame on the burst meter or ignites like a flame around
Change the color to blue or something.
Wait, I have a better one. Hey, just put burst on the gauge so we know it's a burst. It already exists. Just do it.
Okay. Hold on. No. See. That's cool. I'm with that. I like that idea. I just think they just need better audio cues when stuff is happening. Like when you get it full, give me a distinct sound effect that I know it's full, or have like the announcer say,
Guilty Gear
burst
like
ready. Yeah, like one thing I really like about Guilty Gear, and I say Arxis games in general primarily, a lot of times when stuff's happening, they be like, positive bonus, negative penalty,
anything about Arxis, their sound design is mad.
Audio cues for fighting games are very important, and like combined with like different like UI solution, it helps you to keep track of information, especially in a versus fighter where you have to keep your eyes moving like pretty much all around the screen to keep track of stuff. And I think like specifically for me, like sometimes I would get confused on like which meter is mine because they are both just like the same color. So I would like something I'm used to like being on like player one, so I'm like just looking at the player one meter like most of the time. But, I mean that's mostly on me, but it still could be something that's like color coded to let you know what side you're on.
I think. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think there needs to be like a bit more distinctiveness between and like you and your teammate as well as like the team, like the two teams themselves. Because sometimes it does get like a little confusing. Like either on screen or like when their stuff is being built on like which ones is whose and so on and so forth. It's they just need to figure out to make it a bit more clear than what it currently is. Because it's not I don't say it's terrible, but it's like a lot of the HUD and like the audio design. It's like it's doing the bare minimum. Like it's there. There's something that's there to for it to happen and to work, but it's like it needs a little help with it.
Yeah.
I agree. I think having like different like colors or something like that for like the different levels for different characters or whoever's on your team will be helpful. Writing what Kensou said, writing like burst.
Having a burst on the screen would just be such a. And I'm not trying to interrupt. It's just.
No, you got.
It's such an important mechanic, like.
Yeah.
And it you know.
And it's green too. The color's green, so it confuses you with the health bar.
It's too much green on the screen. If I'm gonna be real, like I would much rather it be like Street Fighter, where like player 1 is blue, player 2 is red.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
Just color
Change
and
the
then
colors.
Like, certain elements need to be bigger as well.
The HUD itself just needs to be bigger.
Yeah.
Life bars, round count, assist ready, all that shit.
Yeah,
like handshake tag. Add like an audio cue, like fighters, like change or something like that. Like,
I mean, I think the audio cue for tags is pretty good with the clap. But I think I think like what they should like say like kind of like a voice line or like whatever voice line they say should be a little louder or like maybe like echo a little bit. So like kind of like to indicate that you're doing a change.
Yeah,
I agree.
And then
I agree.
And like when you see like in like Dragon Ball Fighters, like the numbers for like the super gauge, like when you get to level 7, that shit is pretty much on fire. It's like you see like the flames and stuff, so that you have like a lot of stuff to work with.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think there's other things, but generally speaking, at least a color change would be nice. Because I mean, I can sit here and say, it's very easy for us to I'll just say me. I ain't gonna put y'all in it, but like, I feel like, as wild as this is gonna sound, hot take, I feel like Riot as a company is very good at art direction. And I still think, at least for me, it's a little befuddling that the HUD is the way it is. Whether it's placeholder or finalized, it's the same way I felt about Strive, where it's like, this isn't really it. And maybe 2XKO doesn't really have it does have a defined look and feel. I just think like the HUD could be something a bit more. My dog seems to agree too, so.
Yeah, because like everything else are outside of like the HUD itself, I think like the advertisement because they really haven't done too much advertisement, but like whenever they do like videos and stuff showcasing the game, like the little change screen transition, those are really nice. The overall character designs are really nice. It's like I think they still have great art direction. It's just for some reason, just like they haven't found or sat down with a style for the HUD that makes it feel like very distinct.
Yeah,
it just feels very, very safe. And I know that we're like in the era of like simplicity, but I just feel like they could still do more with it to make it stand out a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Now we did,
but there are some elements I do like I do like the face card cut in with the assist calls. I do like those. I think those are really cool.
Yeah.
I think the burst thing, I think it's weird that it's green while it's building, and then it's just green when it's filled. Like it has like a little wave thing going up. I was like, I can't notice that mid match.
Yeah. Like I think one thing will be pretty cool, just the overall like health, like just the UI. I think, like Soul said, if they do like the little, to me it look like tape lines. You see it at the character select. If they kind of bring that idea for like the health bars and stuff like that, I think that would be pretty cool. Just bring that in for the UI itself. So we'll see.
We got to talking about sound design, so I feel like we could probably move on. I think we talked about actually all of them already. The topics we had was just UI, sound design, visuals, kind of. We didn't really talk about the animations, but we did talk about where your character's on screen.
I know animations wise.
Oh yeah,
that get up animation is where I think it's like you're still being comboed, but it's like your character getting up. I think it's the crumple state.
Yeah, I think
that is
specifically the I think it's like one of the like the hits from Yasuo where he hits you out of stance and he like sends you to the corner and you're like sitting down and you get back up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that, and
I think it's that one.
Ari, when she does like the drop down spiral, and it's like your
Mhm.
character looks like they're getting up, but they can still be comboed.
Yeah.
And it's like that is one of the most confusing because like it happened when in the TNS thing. I thought the Ari's combo was done, but so I was trying to do get up attack, and I was like, hold on, why can't I do get up attack? But Zeta was in my ear. It's like, no, you're still being comboed. I'm like, it looks so weird. They need to.
Yeah, the
That
slope
animation
state.
needs to be changed.
So this goes back to what was said earlier, where they're just trying to do too much. I'd rather just to be a tumble state and just go from there.
Yeah. A tumble state, you already know. You're just like, shit is hitting the fan. You're about to get comboed again.
Yeah.
But like that animation specifically looks like a recovery animation. That looks like if you do like a back tech, just without like a.
They need to make it like a mechanic or something, cause like I love it. It's kind of funny. People think the combo over. Nope, you going back in the air. I like it, but
But like you're the problem. You the problem.
But like I understand like it is annoying. Like you think the combo over and you're like, oh,
it's not really annoying. It's just confusing because like when seeing the two, at least like mid match when seeing the two, it looks no different than me like actually getting up.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I know.
That's what I'm saying. Just go to the tumble state and that'll solve that problem.
Yeah. Cause Street Fighter has that, right? Like with Akuma, I know Akuma primarily he got a combo where like he hits you, or like if he does his like level 2, and he like and he rolls to the wall, and it's like okay,
you on the wall like this.
But I'm talking about the act before that, you know? So
they can actually do that if it's a move that knocks you towards the wall. Like you're not gonna be like, ugh, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna get up. Oh no, and you still get combo.
See, and I'm glad you mentioned animations. I want to talk about. I think these things gotta go. I think charge moves gotta go.
I knew that was coming.
I'm saying this because I've dealt with Guard Crush enough in
I hate charge
Strive,
moves. I hate it.
And I get it. It gives you a way to kind of sneak in the stuff in your pressure, but I think already having to deal with all kinds of other pressure options on top of a charged attack,
it's too much.
It's a little. If they were to keep it in, make it cost meter. That's my solution.
Yeah, either make
it
cost meter.
Essentially, just throw it out for free in your strings. If you like, okay, if you do button into assist call, you hold heavy and you like get like the guard crutch. You could just keep doing that until like your like assist runs out. Until like they just like get like impatient of like blocking your stuff and like they press on you.
Which, by the way, these heavy charge moves, you can't. Like, bro, I don't want them. You can't even push block them. Like after you block them, you're locked out of push block. You're locked out of it.
Guard.
You're locked out of a lot of stuff.
But that I would change. I would personally keep the charge moves, but making them push blockable, I think that should be the case. I think you should be able to push block them.
Look, I've watched Gold Lewis throw enough coffins for the last like 3-4 years. I don't want that to be a main feature. And granted, it's like, I understand players are not going to try to abuse it, but they'll try to sneak it. It's kind of like, I snuck it in, and now I get plus 30 something, and I get to like, no. Because at that point, you can do another string to reset the assist. And like, let's say that they tried the push block.
That's true.
Oh, you got hit by it? Damn, that's crazy. I guess you should have parried it with your 2-frame window.
I don't know, man. With all these big bodies running around, it's too crazy.
Like, I don't think people want to see somebody that's good at doing that.
I think, rather, the reality is, and not to cut you off, is like, stop trying to find ways to hurt push blocking.
Yes,
because
exactly.
It's like push block is the lifeline of defense in versus games. Like, you need the push block. So, like, I get it. You can push block the move before that comes out. But if I ain't got no meter...
It's not just push block.
Watch Ari in my face talking about surprise. Here comes Joshua. Dash up stance. Dash up again. I'm gonna do it again. Psych, you thought dash can't. Oh, like, bro, like, just let him do a string.
It's not just push block. It's every defensive mechanic in the game.
All your defensive mechanics are gone. I just don't want to see another situation. I get it, it's universal, but like, I'm cool with pulling mechanics from games. That's a Go Lewis thing. Let's give everyone Go Lewis mechanics. Let's Yasuo, charge that sword up, big dog. Have fun. I understand it doesn't do any chip damage. It does build meter. I get it. But like, you're giving them the ability to gain pressure just for like a button hold. Button hold plus assist. Button hold again. Oh, look, I'm playing assist times 2.
To the corner.
Right. Or my personal favorite, button hold. Do my string, call assist, button hold, release, active switch. And
to a mix up.
And if I'm playing freestyle, you blocked the first mix up? I guess I'll charge my movement and switch again. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can already do that with supers. So, no.
Once people get like really nasty with it, it's like it becomes like,
it's egregious.
It's like, okay, you shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff in a versus game. Eventually, your pressure is supposed to end. Or eventually, I'm supposed to be able to do something to make your pressure end. You know? And I feel like without meter, you're perpetually in that state of like having to hold shit. Like, my arms can only carry so much stuff.
Yeah, because I don't know. I don't even agree with push block being, if they going to have pressure like this, I don't even agree with it being 50% like of a meter. Because like, there's moves that multi-hit. You got handshake tag. You got 2x assist. People, we know they're going to nerf Ari's assist, right? We know that already. But like, they're going to have 2x assist. People just going to do it twice and then just restart pressures over again. But I can't put,
I'm sorry to cut you. I was going to say, but it's going to be it's not even just reset. It's going to be a constant just over. It's just going to be a constant loop, because if you're running 2x assists, it's just a 3-second cooldown. So just tag, just charge it. What Kensou's saying, wait for the 3 seconds, because just the string, charge it again for a second time. 3 seconds is up. Just switch again.
Yeah,
so it's just a loop over and over again.
Set out and lab it to see how long you can keep somebody in like a charge heavy loop with double assist.
So you can that sounds 2-3 times.
Double assist.
If I'm right.
Which, you know what? Since we're already here, I wanted to save double assist for last, but let's go ahead and talk about the fuse.
Yeah,
let's talk about the most broke one, which is most.
Hold on. No. I'm gonna be real honest. I hate the fuse system. I really dislike it.
Let's talk about the fuse system. Yaya says he hates the fuse system. Let's talk about it.
Right before you start, I think my notion of like just combining some of the mechanics into like fewer fuses, like just have like a 2 groove system. I think that's what they might end up doing. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm more of a line with that, where I don't hate the system, but I do think some things should just be innately a part of the game.
Yes.
There we go. That is why
you should circumvent some of them things to just be there, like for like the so some degree I think about Fury and like in that vein, because like there's no X factor of the game. There's no like distinctive like comeback mechanic outside of like equipping the Fury.
No, you got last stand.
Last stand is your
comeback. Oh, true.
Yeah,
that's.
Or you can't you can't do level 1 to change into another level 1. Like, it's tied to double down. It's like
it's DHC not being a default system mechanic.
Like, that's
a little weird.
That's it's such, because like I could understand them not wanting to be like I guess like that fast of a game, but like in that essence, I'm like, well, just I guess make the health pools a bit bigger. Or make the super. I wouldn't say make the super suit less damage, but yeah, I would just make the health pools a bit bigger for the characters. Because you're like not being able to DHC in a tag game, it's just
This is weird.
That's
It feels weird.
it
wanting to
just
play.
don't make sense.
I don't be wanting to play 2x assists because I'm like, damn, bro, I want the sauce.
It's already been over a year or so since the FUZE system was introduced, if I'm not mistaken, and we're still at the point, even after everybody lab in the game, like we're still at the point that it's really uncontested that 2x and freestyle are still the two best fuses in the game. And Double Down is like probably like right there, but
Nah,
I think the other way around. I think Double Down the broken one.
Double
Like,
Down might actually be the best fuse.
the only reason 2x is cracked is because Ari's back assist is broke right now. That's it.
but think about that, and once we get 16 characters in total,
and
it'll matter if I touch you with Darius.
Yeah.
And I second Ari.
So how about this?
It comes down who has the best success at that point.
This leads into another conversation, this is gonna be the really fun one, you guys. So I'm talking with Hugh and labbing a bunch of stuff. I think 2x assists is broke at the start. It is. Because there's no meter for push block. So it's just
True.
dumb. But with enough patience and just playing a good set of games, Double Down is probably the best.
Yeah, I just have to touch you once.
Yeah, and the reason for it is, understand there's this game, and this is gonna speak to you especially, so I know you play fighters. Killing the character in fighters is important.
Yeah, 100%.
But
100%.
but there's one thing that fighters has this game doesn't have. You know what that is? Snap. You can't snap this game.
That's true. Somebody brought that up the other day. I think it was like Friday. It was like that. Snap. It's like it's crazy that this game doesn't have like a form of snapping.
Yeah.
I think Ghost brought that.
Yeah,
up.
Because I understand. Well, I don't understand why it doesn't have it, but it just feels weird. Like, oh, I didn't kill the character; they swapped them out. Like, all right, but when I get the hit, I should be able to have a way of like being rewarded. Oh yeah, let me snap them back in. And I think a lot when that happens, everybody is afraid of the whole Marvel situation of snap and then you get 50-50 coming in. And like it doesn't have to be that egregious. Like fighters, they adjusted it so that it's you. The defender still has a pretty strong advantage, but we don't have to. It don't have to be 50-50 into death.
Yeah. Like the fact that Double Down, like the way you can reset, like we have a whole TOD with Ari and Dart and Darius. Like if Darius lands a hit, that character's dead.
Even with just one bar in each of our stocks, bro, it does a lot of damage.
Yeah, same thing.
We did it to Void. We played against Void and Ross last night. And we popped them with that, and Void was like, "Am I dead?"
Are we jabbing? Oh. You don't die, right?
I'm dead.
You're not dead, right? No, you're not dead.
I'm dead.
You're not dead. You're not dead. Oh, God.
I got grabbed.
Like,
yeah. And then
I was like, I think so.
Alawi and Ari was like, you get hit by the overhead.
That's my team right there.
You just put the controller down, and it's not like it's like crazy execution.
The minute I played this game, I'm telling you, when we played at Evo, I looked at Ari and I was like, that's my character. After I played nothing but Alawi all Evo, y'all. For those of you guys watching, I played Alawi at all. See, Edo knows. I played Alawi all Evo. And when I came, I was like, watch, when I get the Alpha Lab, my team is Ari Alawi. And as all the stuff that I labbed, I didn't know Ari's assist was just that broke in terms of damage output. Like, it's a bug that her damage output is that high. But that team can literally, like, I can Timmy 2-tap you.
And
it's crazy.
And the thing is when I just want to say this, guys, like, the thing is, like, when we were playing at Evo, the more we played, and how Kensou was playing Alawi, it was like, yeah, Big Body is just gonna just cook right now in this build. Like, and it's kind of showing. Like, you see Darius, Echo, whatever formation with a Big Body. because how it's just
Timmy two touch.
it's just two touch.
Timmy two touch.
Recent, like literally after Friday, Saturday morning when I hopped on the game, right? I've seen nothing but Darius or Lowry with someone or with Ari or Echo. I haven't really seen Yasuo like that. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I haven't seen him. And they've been running nothing but double down or 2x assists.
Because Ari does all that damage on literally any knockdown, you get a pickup.
Yeah.
Get a pickup.
You get a pickup, and you just lose. Like me and Huey legit came up with a one touch. Like that's
Yeah, it's like, all right. All the nonsense in the game, you just got to make sure if you touch them, you kill them.
you have to.
Yep.
So
You got to.
That's pretty much it.
I'm of the opinion is double down, but I think the two best is double down and 2 times assist. But I think 2x assists, I think 2 times assists is just flat out broke because the lack of push block in the early starts of the game.
Oh, you know what's lame?
What?
I might say y'all gonna get mad for like the chip kill in this game, bro.
Nah, you gotta hold that.
No, bro, cause I can't punch block, bro.
You gotta hold that.
And then the thing hit. Look, and if you got the one random quirk person in the world, the one person that wants to play handshake, they gonna handshake you, and then Darius is go, Ari, pew pew pew.
Yeah,
I'm dead.
I don't know. I'm cool with Chip. I don't know if I'm okay with Chip kill. I don't.
Yeah, chip kill. That's my problem. Chip kill.
No.
Chip kill.
You need that.
You need that in this game.
No. Stop. No, listen. One
I
of the
don't
biggest
know.
problems with fighting games is that the win cons. When you at like for example Street Fighter 6, there's no chip kill unless you're in burnout. You kind of need that in a versus game because when you get into a situation where like one of you has meter, I'm sorry, the guy with the meter got the advantage if it's a multi-hit super.
Yeah, no. If you got this much health, and I have 2 bars, you should die.
All right, kill me. Yeah, kill me with the.
Kill me with
the
the ain't no coming back from that. You should just
So
die.
then let's
But
talk
like if
about-
they handshake tag and I'm getting beat up like the JJK episode, right?
I will
Trying to
say,
block, and I'm
to be fair,
cooked.
I think only super should chip kill, cause like I'll be blocking and I get caught in a string and they just call every assist and kill me.
Yeah.
Bro, like I'm sitting on like
It was. I can't remember if it was in tennis because it was like I had no meter, and then I got hit by I didn't get hit. The Darius he jumped in, and I blocked the jump in, and then he had Ari, so he called the last stand Ari assist, and I was like, well, I just got put the controller down. I'm just dead. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't do nothing.
I will agree on that.
Which, by the way, last stand.
Hold on.
I don't know
Say
if
anything about last time. All I'm gonna say is this: you wouldn't have this problem if push block didn't cost a meter.
yeah, look. If push block didn't cost meter, we chill.
yeah, I'd be cool.
Because then I still have options like even because like it's honestly just that if you are low on resources, and you're the last character alive, it's kind of just like it's just a GG.
It is
just a
very hard.
GG.
Yeah, like even with having the last stand assist, it's a little hard to come back if you're not like a big damage dealer.
Bro, that's
I don't know who at well. The idea of last stand assist when first playing at Evo and stuff like okay, this is cool because it still makes the character the player that died still active within the game. They're still able to perform and do whatever. It's cool and it's on a longer cooldown. But them being like baby supers it's kind of crazy.
No, I think it's
You only
cool.
have access to it when you're at half HP. I don't like that.
Yeah, I think it should be accessed when you're left, when you're like the last one left.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause then you use it. It's a 10-second cooldown. You hit me, I'm dead.
At least like when you it could be like when you like when the first character dies, it starts off like the 10-second cooldown.
Right.
For last stand, and that would be kind of a good way to like. Not
Also,
be able to,
please, can we indicate the cooldown? Because I know when it starts, it just says not available. It doesn't show the 10 seconds. If I'm not mistaken.
It does. It does.
It does.
It shows not available when you're
Yeah,
not
it's like the
have-
picture, and then it gives you the number. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just want to say, when you only have one character low, I like when someone said that. There's many times where I had came back on some people, and that's all that's been going through my head is those moments. I'm fighting for my life out here.
No. Yeah, no, real rap. And TNS, right? And TNS, right? We was fighting. It was that team. Nah, they was the first game they was cooking us, right? Addo just got cooked, like he got destroyed. So it's just me with 2 full health bars, right? I'm shaking because like literally I'm trying not to lose. I'm literally, if he didn't have that Yasuo last stand, his assist sucked, by the way. I cry to your mama. But literally, his assist, bro, literally, if that shit didn't work, we would have lost that game. Because, like, I was sitting there, like, delirious. I was like, the weekend. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I was like, what's going on? Everybody's just dead. Edo dead. Edo like, all right, I'm going to use my last stand. I'm like, I'm going to be real with you, Chief. Yasuo ain't last standing shit. I'm still going to die because he ain't mixing nobody. Like, literally.
Oh man!
Yo,
I take that man Darius in. He pulled out the hammer.
Yeah. Honestly, it's Yasuo's last stand assist should. Instead of being a diagonal, like the horizontal across, I think it should be like when he do stance 2H. I think that should be his.
He needs the up one, bro.
Darius has the little axe swing, the upswing.
Let's just be real here. Let's
Like,
give him
that's
his
crazy.
wall tornado.
Yeah, give him the wind wall.
And give
Oh
him,
yeah, true.
So what I'm saying is like the one where he does in the super, my sword, my story, and then like the tornado humps.
Yeah.
Just throw the damn tornado. Just
Yeah,
throw the
give him
tornado.
that. Yeah.
No. If they want to be, look, if they want to go all the way with what he based off of, get him the up slash. I'm tired of people jumping, and let me melt them for jumping. All right, because Edo, when he was using his assist, I was like, oh nah. He ain't doing shit. Like, he's not helping me.
It's crazy because I try my best to time it when Yaya will go in. So it's like, what am I supposed to do?
You know, all Yasuo just go.
Give me my Yuzu slash and call it a day.
The only time that feels like useful is like once your teammate gets to hit, like either them hitting or puts them in blocks. I'm like, all right, now I can call the assist to extend the block string, and then if you have freestyle or whatever, or even if not, you can do like, all right, I can switch into Yasuo, and now you have to guess type of thing.
Yeah, that's what
outside of that.
Showing him. Yeah.
For Yasuo, if you hold his assist, doesn't do anything else, like for the wind wall, or it just
No.
It's
It's
just
Huey, that's what I thought it was gonna do.
Yeah,
I'm thinking big brain, like 2x assists. Like, oh yeah, if I do wind wall twice, it'll turn the wind wall to the tornado. No, it just another wind wall.
Because I know for fact, if you hold his like the time awareness, he throws it up instead of like throwing it forward.
Because it's fun.
So.
It's funny because when me and Yaya was discussing before the TNS bracket started, it was funny because when we were discussing like strategies, right? And I was like, look, moments where you're struggling against projectiles, I'm gonna put up this one wall. And she was like, what is this supposed to do?
No. I asked Edo. I was like, Edo. No. Look. I was like, Edo, with all due respect, What fucking projectiles in this game, man?
No.
Oh damn! You just messed me up just now. Oh my!
The only one you worried about is Ari.
It's Ari or Echo's it's freaking Time Wander. The little
It's
Time
like
Wander.
trying to. It's like, but you have to with Time Wander. You preemptively putting the wall out.
You're preemptively throwing it out.
You just messed me up.
It's
just
Ari,
now.
and so it was like if we fight Ari, it's like put this up and tag me in because he was like, does he do anything else? I'm like, you have to tag me in so I can call out the rest. And he was like, from the moment when I said tag me in so I can go for the follow up or anything else, Yaya was like, I don't know about this team, bro. I was like,
It was one time Edo put up the wall, and I think we was fighting. Was it Eski or something? And Eski was like, "Oh, I'm gonna just hold the Ari just to run past the wall," and I'm like, "What's the point? What's the point? Like, why you got that?"
I definitely think, I'll be honest, on the notion of assists, I think Yasuo has the absolute worst assists of all the characters.
It's funny. It's also funny because let me also tell you this: the win wall, because I fought Code. Shout out to Code. I want to give a shout out to him. We ran a set. I was playing Ari. I did her level 1 to Yasuo's win wall. It blocked level 1. If Yasuo inches his way up just a tiny bit to the win wall, Ari's level 1's fireball is going to clip behind the win wall, and it's going to hit Yasuo. And it killed Coded.
That's hilarious.
I can hear Cody right now.
No, Coded went back to that character select and got off of Yasuo.
You know, since we're talking about characters here, all right, as unanimous, all right, top 1. Right?
I'm sorry, no.
Who?
Top Ari 2. I'm sorry, Darius.
No,
one.
Darius
I'm
is
sorry.
no. Because here's the thing about Ari is that a lot of people is getting mixed by S1 too.
Yeah.
Where like she leaps in, and then every character is like, haha, hit medium, right? And they just literally just melt you afterwards. So you in the air, it makes it bad at that point if you get called bad. Because now the assist and the camera just pulling them in, so it just gives them a free happy birthday.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna be honest. I think in terms of like, if you really care about mix, cool, right? But like other than that, like Darius, he ain't gotta work hard. This man can make a sandwich and watch a movie.
Just be swinging.
He hits
I'm
two
looking at
buttons.
this. Darius has damage, yeah. So if he hits you, you will die. But his neutral is not that great. Darius neutral is not that great.
You gonna tell me he just hit L? Like, here's my money. Oh, my money.
It's
And now you can get in the combo.
It's not that great.
I can't.
It's not that great, man.
Oh no, man.
I think Darius can definitely unga bunga. I personally think Ari is the best. I think it's, if I had to put it, I think it's Ari, Darius, and then Echo.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say, like, honestly, if you ask me, like, no order, those are like honestly the 3 best. Like, let's just
And
be
after
honest.
that, I'm gonna be real. Hot take, I think Alawi's number 4, but that's because I'm a Alawi player.
I can see that.
actually think
I don't
she's
think that's
better
that hot.
I think she's better than Yasuo.
I think Alao is actually really good.
Mostly because she doesn't do anything in neutral because you don't got to. You do something dumb, you get hit by tentacle, and then you drop R in that character's game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pick up into
Yasuo
big
doing all this
damage.
cool stuff, pressed all these buttons. She's like, yeah, Ari, surprise, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just for people, that doesn't make Yasuo bad because Yasuo is still a really
No,
good character.
Yasuo's a really good character.
Yeah, he's really good.
I definitely don't
It's
want
just-
people to watch this and think that I'm saying Yasuo sucks. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is Yasuo is a really good character. Like, Yasuo, up front, outright, out the gate, badass character. He is good as can be. I just think what people were looking for when they saw him was like, oh man, he's about to be this mix up. that character is neutral
He's
king.
about to be the Virgil Zero.
Like
he is the tamed. If you were to tame them characters,
He's neither Virgil or Zero.
he's not that.
He's not them. And he's like he pulls a lot of inspiration from them. I would say,
He does.
but he's not exactly them.
He's not as cold as
Yeah.
him. He's definitely Virgil light. Definitely Virgil light.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's a very tamed version of those type of characters,
Yeah, he is. I think
which is understandable because them characters are bullshit.
I think for sure. I think it's definitely Braum is on the lower end, but I think the thing is Braum because I mean if you go by individual characters, the top 3 that was mentioned are kind of like the staples of the game right now.
Yeah.
But if you go by support characters, once again, RA fulfills that role as probably one of the best support characters. If it's not Braum,
best assist.
Now, as you said, it makes a lot of sense why those are the best 3 as well because, like you said, like they've been here since the beginning. Like they've been the most fleshed out. They've been the most changed, tested. It's like those characters are probably as complete as they can be at this point, other than like some minor changes. Yeah. But like Yasuo, Braum, and Alawi, they're still pretty new. They can still experience a lot of changes in the long run. Yeah. They just aren't as refined as the other 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say definitely like, and I know people are gonna be like, oh man, you're such a, you really like that Alawi character. I mean, yes, there's a little bit of bias. It's just for the amount of buttons and APMs you're doing with Yasuo to control neutral.
Yeah.
All it takes.
All that for a drop of blood.
All it takes is
I'll be feeling that way.
Press S1. You got hit by it's literally like a full screen tentacle slam. And all it takes is for you to drop RA. And even if they nerf RA's assist, it isn't about the assist.
So good.
It's just the pickup. It's literally just the pickup. So, and if you ran it with 2 times assist, I mean, Alawi was 100%. Bro, when I was playing Dosa, he would throw Time Winder. Wah! Surprise! Oh, goodbye. That character's dead. With double down, Echo's dead. He's gone. There's no 2 ways about it. So, that's... People won't see it outright. Not to mention... I guess I'm kind of like the only person that really play Alawi like that, but her S2 super is pretty jacked. That tentacle super is cracked out. That super pretty cracked out because literally what people aren't recognizing about Alawi is she's a team on her own. Like that character can be ran literally by herself because she has a large health pool, and her best partner, honestly, is Ahri. To be honest.
Yeah, you can actually run her point.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think from the way that they said her, like they explain her archetype, they say okay, like she could be more of like a anchor style character, but like nah, you don't say I got to do that.
Yeah, put her on point. She can fight the fast characters. It doesn't look like it at first because they're like, oh, she's not this and that. Her buttons are good. If you fight her too much on the ground, you get hit by that forward S1. You get hit with that
S1.
urn. Your character spin around. You just lost. That character's done. That character's dead.
Yeah.
Just went damage.
I will say that the sound design in this game is pretty good too. You hit by the urn.
Bro, you know what move makes me mad? There's like only one move that really actually makes me mad in the roster, and it's when Braum puts the shield down. He goes.
He's starting to overhead.
It's so goofy.
They could more worse than this, where he goes on the ground as a push up.
Oh, with the shit.
That's even worse.
Animation is fire.
You can't get mad getting hit by that. It's like,
I just start smiling like, okay, whatever.
So low profiling to a push up to.
Oh man,
it's crazy because it's like even with like characters like Braum, like I'm like I didn't even know he had a dang overhead. It's like,
bruh.
You don't even think about stuff like that.
Speaking of Braum, so I think most would say he's the worst. And when we say worst in the game, it's a very loose worst. You guys obviously still alpha, and there are people doing work with the character. Like, I don't know. I feel like him in the anchor spot.
I don't think he's the worst.
He's not that bad. Like, but I mean, if people had to put a worse character, they tend to say Braum.
I don't know, man. That shield and
I know who the worst. And if I say it, y'all gonna be like, damn, it's Black History Month. That's the one people gonna say the worst.
Not the worst. Echo is not worse than Braum.
No. I'm not saying. I'm saying. In terms of the game, everybody can cook, right? But not everybody know how to cook with Echo. We know that.
That's a skill issue.
You're right. No. You're right. But you're not gonna act like Braum just not ripping up team. Everybody up there right now got a Braum.
You know,
like
I know what Yaya is trying to say, because part of the issue with Echo, and I felt it literally frame one, his combos are too finicky.
His combos are way too
I
finished.
hate his buttons, bro. His buttons piss me off.
Like Poke badges to play Echo.
Yeah.
No, and then somebody, he sent me the meme, and he was like, "Thank you, cross tag," and then like I instantly knew why I don't like playing this character, because he got the self thing, right? That I can't vibe with. At least self though, like the record cheap. Right, he got the orb that's floating in the screen, moving after a certain amount of time. Right, like here, Echo, they're like, no, you gotta do this clean. I'm gonna keep it real with you, but we ain't giving you no change. I need all that tax from you. That's how you gotta play Echo.
That's crazy.
Yeah, then you
didn't get punished.
And it's like his links, even for some of his combos, is like super tight.
Right, cause it's like yesterday I spent like a good amount of time like trying to look at him for the first time, and like I'm totally all for like execution and stuff like that, but like trying to do some of his setups and stuff, it's just super strict in some ways, and I'm like, if you mess up, like I can imagine in a match is like you mess up, and you imagine doing that on a big body, big body character, like on Dars or Alawi, right? You're dead, and I was just
I will say like one like positive thing about the like the combo system. I do like how loose and free it is for you to be able to experiment with different routes and stuff. But I think at the same time, characters should have like a guaranteed route that they can do that's not really dependent on like delayed timing and stuff like that. And it's like not just like ABCD into special. So and I feel like a lot of the other characters do have those kind of combos, and Echo doesn't really.
Yeah, I think Echo's in a very unique place, which we can talk about characters for a moment. I do think Echo's in a very weird place. He's definitely top 3 in the current roster, right? What worries me is if this trend carries on and a character like Akali comes in, or like, I'll just keep it real, like I love me some Pyke. I can see Pyke being a tricky character. Like they're doing more tricky things for less effort. So I think that's where I agree 100%, where like his combos need to, like, these links just seem goofy. That's why I'm like, that's why I say I don't like the charge, like this whole charge down special stuff with his Helmbreaker just feels kind of like, why don't I do that? Just jump and do the move. Like, because his mid-screen confirms look like, hey, you want to play Echo? You need to have an assist. And weirdly enough, and I do feel this way, I don't feel there's a true assist for Echo right now. Yeah, everyone can say Ahri because Ahri does stuff for everyone, but like, there's no, I feel like Echo doesn't have a real partner. I think, like, I'm gonna be real, I think the Echo Ahri team, hot take, overrated. I think Ahri Darius is stronger than that. I think Darius Ahri might be, personal opinion, best team, because it deletes. It doesn't, and it hits any team, and you can just lose.
Yep. Yeah, that was one of the main things that me and Kev was focusing on. Just like, what kind of guaranteed combo can we do as a team that, if we get the hit, we can get at least like a guarantee of like 700, 800 damage to, at least kill a character.
Yeah, because
and it's like,
you'll play your neutral interactions, and then the point characters build a meter for both characters. In the instance of, I mean, in general it does that, right? But obviously for Double Down it's very important because you get the DHC. So you get the DHC early, you might kill that character.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I don't know. I just think I'm not like, I know we can go on and look at the Sonic Fox combo and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
That's cool and all, but I just feel like that's so much work when Darius is just hitting BC special spin slam down Ari assist goodbye. And even then, we could have ran 2 times assist, and that probably would have been just as bad. If I don't think it would kill because we don't have the DHC, but like it's still gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my opinion. I know most will probably look at the Ari and Echo and be like, oh, but the mix. Once again, get up attack just solves all that, because right now everyone's getting hit by every single mix because they don't know there's like 900 system mechanics. So we're trying to block and trying to wake up parry when we just literally can just hold like wake up special button and your character does their quick reverse. And that just shuts all that down. So that's gonna force all that. That's what I'm saying. Like my thing with this here, and this will be you guys don't have to chime in on it if you don't want to, but this is for my little portion of this video. This talk is that you guys will eventually learn that this game is not about mix-ups. Mix-ups, like in this current build, mix-ups are cool.
Yeah.
Killing characters is way more important than the mix-up. Way more. Because the mix-up can get bursted. It can get wake-up, get-up attack. It can get wake-up parried for what it's worth. Like there's too many ways to get around. Now I get you can burst that big boy combo. But once that burst is gone, if that next hit lands, like if you waste your burst at the end of a round where your character has like no HP because you're just trying to do a hero burst, let's say you win that round, or let's say you lose that round, right? And let's say it was 1-1. The other team has more resources than you. That character has a good chance of dying. It's not about mix-ups. Mix-ups are cool. Mix-ups would be cool if the combos weren't long, didn't corner carry, and double down didn't exist with DHC.
Yeah.
Then the mix would matter. But because double down exists and 2 times assist exists, you're most likely gonna see characters just dying, to be honest. So I don't know. That's my hot take. I understand there's probably some of you guys are gonna watch this and be like, but Ari, Echo, and it's like, all right, go try that stuff against a Lowy and get hit, or optimize a Lowy player or an optimized Darius player in a 1v1 scenario, because I won't say a 2v1 or 2v2, because that's still part of the game. The coordination part's still not all there with the game, but that's that part. We got a good talk about characters. One of the last few things we want to talk about here is overall viewership and reception of the game. This is a very touchy, taboo, tricky topic here, to be honest. I'll open it with, I've been watching the game from the start, of the Alpha Labs in particular. And day 1 viewership was like 60K on Twitch, just through the roof, which was great. As we've progressed, the viewership for the game has dropped pretty significantly. I will add, because I know we're going to get into it, a lot of the more prominent League of Legends streamers are not playing it. I think the only one I've seen or heard of actually playing it is like Adrian Riven. I know Double Lift likes fighting games. He's one of my favorite League ADC players, and he's not on it. I know he's been watching like League, EWC stuff, I want to say, or something else is going on that I know he's just focused on right now, so Twitch is not really his thing. Not to mention, just throw out here, in addition, that he did mention in previously that he wasn't, to my knowledge, if I recall right, he wasn't that interested in the game because he doesn't like 2-on-2, he doesn't like team fighting games. But it is missing a Tyler 1, it is missing, just for the lack of it, a Pokemon or something along those lines, a Lily Pichu, a Valkyrie, or any of those bigger names, on it. And it's mostly been FGC carrying it, and like the viewership has been, it's got to be honest, it's just a lot lower than normal. And there was so much hype surrounding this game, it's kind of a wonder where a lot of this has gone. I know these guys have some things to chime in on it, so I'll leave the floor open for you guys on that as I opened.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, we mentioned this earlier on Kev's stream. I think it's just the game isn't in a marketable position yet, where like their primary goal is to put eyes on the game at the moment. I think they want to get a very strong opinion on the game from the FGC's perspective, and as well as like twinkling like the casuals, which is why like the alpha lacks a lot of features that the overall casual base would want, or would be looking for when trying out the game for the first time. Because if they would have marketed this like the way they would with like the release of the game, or like the or like previous games like Valorant and League or of some sorts. I feel like they realize that like, the game is like in like at least the Alpha Lab is in such a state that it probably wouldn't wow a lot of people, because it's still pretty much the bones of a game. Like it has a lot of infrastructure and stuff there, but it still needs a lot to be worked on. So the reason I bring up like the whole marketability and stuff of the game, because we're looking into like content creation and like people like when looking at viewership for streams and videos and stuff, a lot of that is predicated on the ceiling of the game. So like how far is the overall company themselves, how far can they take it and like bring in the eyes of people interested in it? Because essentially how content creators have to move is that how the game company moves, that's essentially how we have to move. Because if they don't make a big major move and making it visible for everybody to get into it, then 9 times out of 10 on our end, regardless of our size, the viewership isn't going to be as strong. Like we was talking over the weekend, if you look at anybody that's a big creator within the FGC, like Sajam, even Max, and even like some like middle tier ones, not mid tier as in quality, but like mid tier as in like size, like a Lotus or like a or another big one would be like Jam Crofts and Rufamanga. Like when you look at their viewership, it's surprisingly a lot smaller than like a lot of the other content that they've been covering, for as big of a game as this is supposed to be. And I think mostly it's just because since the game hasn't been marketed to be pushed to a lot of people, it's not a lot of people searching for it, which is fine for now. We just hope that it doesn't transition into like the actual release thing, in which I have confidence that it still won't, because Riot is going to be riding. They're one of the biggest video game companies at the very moment in the world, and Tencent is going to provide the money to market this game better than no other when it's time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like just to chime in on that. When it comes to video things, like I do think strongly that a lot of the videos that are being put out now, they will grow and get view spurts when more stuff's announced for the game. Because, like, if we're being honest, a lot of people have the same... like, I'll use me, for example. One of my biggest videos, short or whatever, is, like, where's Jinx and where's Vi, right? And I think right now, a lot of people... Like, League players know League stuff. But, like, for fighting games, to get those people, really, is just... make cool stuff and look cool right at the end of the day. But I know a lot of people know of League at this point from Arcane. Like Arcane is really big as its own IP is. I won't say it's bigger than League of Legends, but we're not gonna act like it's not one of the biggest animations of the last decade, right? And I think them using that to market the game like they originally revealed it to us again as the Project L X Arcane video, if y'all remember that, like a year or two ago. I think that would do more wonders, because from my perspective, as I'm not a League fan, ain't nobody cool on this roster but like 2 characters. Like half the roster is like whatever to me personally, right? So I think once the game evolves its roster and starts putting in people that people really will be interested in, just by just the look and association of like Arcane or even other Riot IPs, like I think the game is just going to take off a lot more.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree with that. I think that's the thing where I kind of said the similar thing in one of my videos. Like I was predicting Jinx would be the next character, but end up being Braum. I think right now, right, it is a shocker that is Braum right now. But I think Riot is taking a good time right now, just trying to get feedback and trying to figure out where they want the game to be balance wise and the mechanics. And once they have adjusted that, I think you'll start to see, the 2XKO cross Arcane, like the trailers, or they'll surprise us with like a 2XKO cross KDA. That's what I want. I'm sorry, but like you'll see some cool stuff like that. Get people really hyped and interested in like what that happened. Because a lot of people are interested. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are very interested in what characters they'll bring into this game, and people just want to see their mains and their champions. So
Yeah.
Because it literally just slipped my mind. Oh my lord. I'm so. Yeah. I know what I was gonna say. Because I was gonna say that a lot of characters in the roster currently are just kind of whatever. Because if we look at like all 6 of them, it's like 3 at max. They're like very like fan favorite, like very big within like the league sphere. You have Ari, Yasuo, and then I'm pretty sure like the next one would probably Echo because of like his relaunch with Arcane. So he's become very popular. Then after that, I think it's like Alawi is like it's like in the middle where she has people that love her, that she has people like, oh, she's whatever. Then you have like Darius and Braum who are like they're just kind of there. Like people are cool with them to be in there, but they're like, I don't think nobody's asking for Darius or Braum to be in the game.
I'd say Darius, yes.
I could understand
Braum probably not, because Braum like originally like Darius in League of Legends, he's like a top laner, and top laners like usually characters they like play the lane by themselves. So those are usually some like the more popular characters, like those in like mid laners.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then like the support characters are like more on like the back end. You
cool. I'm joking. You good. But, I do also emphasize that. Remember, this is an alpha. Alpha, beta, two different things. So, a lot of words about like characters and like the overall things that we've been speaking throughout this whole like video is that we're saying this to put it out in the air. Because we know the game is in a very early, very changeable state. Because a big difference between alpha and normally beta is that betas are a lot closer to like the game being rolled out, so a lot less things are changeable at that very moment. Because that means more like if the game is in beta, they're probably within like a few months of release. But with the alpha, at this rate, we probably still like a year out, and a year out is a good enough time for them to make a lot of changes, a lot of fixes, and this game to look even more different than what it has been. Which we've noticed, like we was watching like some videos a little earlier before we started the recording of like how this game looked when they announced the graphical change like a year ago in comparison to now. It's completely different. It's a lot more refined.
Compared to now, that original trailer looks a little like grits. they really grits is
grainy. That's what's wrong with
good, but it don't look good. Yeah, it look kind of crunchy, But yeah, but it's like the way that they're doing stuff now, they're kind of trying to refine like their like artistic vision that they have for the game. Like they could like add on to like stuff like that by changing up the UI and stuff as well too. And then after that, like the gameplay stuff and the mechanics. So it's still a good minute before we see what the game actually is.
I agree.
And I think last thing I want to say for like characters, like I think they're also trying to get characters out tied into, not only Arcane, but like if some of the characters are from like Ruin King and other branches of League. So I think they're following a strat, like a timeline of certain characters and where they're from right now, and I think they're trying to release them in like certain orders too, as well. So
I'll say this about characters. I wanted to touch base with Darius. I think the problem with Darius and maybe the reception with him, like if you know anything about League, there's this thing called the Bleed Brothers. He's one of the Bleed Brothers. The other Bleed brother is Draven. If they would have put Draven and Darius together, because there's no zoner, it would have done a lot more for Darius. because
Yeah.
he's a very popular League character, believe it or not. It's just, for me, what's very interesting about a lot of this in terms of the opening character choices. I mean, I'll make a video on it at some point, but like Edo said, like, you know, the Riot Forge things with Ruined King, Echo Convergence, Arcane, all those are projects which kind of push this, because literally right now, this game has all the characters that are in the Ruined King RPG, with the exception of Pike and Misfortune. There's also Gangplank, and I think there's one other character, Viego, who is the Ruined King.
Yeah.
So those are the only other two characters, which we're already halfway there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Arcane, the first stage is Piltover Bridge. You already know Jinx was already showing off. You know Vi is coming. The only downside here in terms of this game, in terms of like first launching characters, is really shocking. There's no Katarina.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, Katarina, Garen, and Lux not being outright the first few characters, because they were some of the first few League of Legends characters to begin with. Granted, I understand times have changed. People's, you know, reception has changed. It's just very interesting, like the way things are, in terms of the reception and like the first character rollouts. I've already accepted Akali's DLC. I've already accepted that. She's not launched. She's not base roster. I've already accepted Katarina's also not launch. It's just I'm just hoping that they release these characters in pairs. You know, like
quickly, because they gotta be smart about it. Because I don't know if y'all said in the recording yet, but no more big bodies for a while. Like, big bodies are cool, but they are not the selling point of fighting games a lot of the times. They're very cool in like very small amounts and spurts, but at some point, you only can put you only have I don't see have because they got hundreds of characters, but there's a point where like a good chunk of a fighting game is how lovable and how appealing are the characters within the roster. So if we know that Vi and Jinx are going to be two big helpers of like getting people interested in the game, like post that a lot of that is more so angled to like people like me, Yaya, and Ghost. We're not really big into League, but because of Arcane, we've grown to like become interested in it. So those would be very big characters for us. But we know outside of that, for like I think you was kind of into League before Arcane and stuff, right? But I know Kevin, Edo, there's a lot more characters within the League world that's a lot more interesting. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who's been playing League for years, there's a lot more other interesting characters. They're like, hey, if they need to be in the roster, for me to play the game. And there's a lot of characters like that. So I think if they aim for like a 16 character roster, the next half of these upcoming characters coming out, they need to be bangers. They need to.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think we're good. We got everything we needed to hash out. It's definitely been a long one. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you guys are still watching and you're still with us, definitely appreciate that. But as I say, all good things must come to an end. But with that being said, hopefully you guys got something out of this. I'll leave links to these lovely content creators, these fine young gentlemen. I'll have them in the description below. Talk to us, talk to us on our individual channel. You can talk to me in the comments, of course, but hit them up too. Talk to us. Tell us how you feel about 2XKO, how you feel about the Alpha Labs, how you feel about this discussion. Again, I know it's a long one, but I didn't want to do it by myself. I feel like there's a lot of things we all had to say, and I'm gonna just I'm gonna just throw out that Yaya's the inspiration for the talk, and we'll call it a day. So we'll catch you guys. We'll probably bring it back at some point for another round table or whatnot, but we'll catch you guys next video. You already know what it is. Same bad time, same bad channel, all that other good stuff. Peace and all that other good stuff.
Peace.